Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch is, as its name suggests, an up-res remastering of Mario Kart 8, which was originally released for the Wii U. It's an arcade-style karting game. You've got weapons, you've got drifting. New to Mario Kart 8 is flying and hovering. You've got a ton of different modes to take on in both single-player and multiplayer mode. You've got the Grand Prix mode, which is a tournament, loads of difficulty modes, time trial, custom race, a whole new revamped battle system. In the previous game, there was a problem with the battle system in that the battle modes were taking place on standard tracks. Well, now there are actually new purpose-built arenas for those, and it's all fully customizable as well. You've got 42 characters to race with, including you can race with your Mii, and there's new characters: Bowser Jr., Dry Bones, Gold Mario, King Boo, the Inklings, and you can also customize your kart style, your tyres, and your glider. In terms of multiplayer mode, again, you can play any of those with up to 12 people online, or you can play in local split screen. Although you can play up to 4 players in local split screen, you really want to be in TV mode for that. As if you're using the Switch's inbuilt screen, 2 is really the maximum that you can comfortably play with. Although the online was working when I reviewed this, it was prior to release, so no one was actually playing it online, so I don't actually know how well the online netcode works. Point number 2 is keep in mind that although online is free for now, Nintendo is going to introduce a charge for this, like with PlayStation and Xbox, later on this year.
So what are the main differences from the Wii U version and obviously the Switch version then?
Okay, well, Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U had a load of, I think it had 2 big DLC packs with it. It includes all of that as standard in Deluxe. You've got the new characters that I've already mentioned. Flame hopping's been removed. If you don't know what that is, well, you don't have to worry about it. It's basically an exploit that gives you a really extended boost, but that's gone. In its place, you've got an extra level of drift boosting. Drift boosting, again, is a Mario Kart thing, whereas if you drift for a certain amount of time around a corner, you build up a boost meter and you can just then boost out of it. So you can do that 3 times now instead of twice. I've already spoken about the revamped battle system. You do have an extra difficulty motor. If 150cc just isn't hard enough for you, well, you've got 200cc mode now. And you've also got 3 new vehicles.
Graphics-wise, how does it look, obviously, on the Switch's own screen and obviously in docked mode?
It actually looks really nice in both modes. I mean, I tend to play my Switch mostly in handheld mode, but I made the exception for this because it looks really, really nice when you plug it into a TV. You just get those beautiful colours. It's a really colourful game. I mean, you can see in the footage on the screen that they've really gone for the, those bold, solid primary colours, and it just looks fantastic. There was absolutely no slowdown whatsoever, even in handheld mode.
I mean, it runs well then.
I didn't notice any slowdown at all, and I think it's probably the first Switch game I've played that I've actually not seen slowdown in a game. I mean, obviously the level's really bright and breezy. The track design is so imaginative. I mentioned that you've got the hovering and the flying now, which adds an extra dimension to the track design, and Nintendo really do take advantage of the freedom this affords them. The little character touches, so depending upon which character you use, they've all got little unique ways of reacting to whether they're passing other racers or blowing someone off the track. They sort of all do these little personalised things. And you do really warm to the characters as a result of that. After every race, you can watch a short highlight reel, and you can actually edit it to a certain extent, so tell it which character to focus on and what kind of events to focus on. Normally, in games, I don't bother with replays and highlights at all, but in this, I found myself watching them virtually after every race, actually. I did notice, more so when it was in TV mode, that there was a lack of anti-aliasing. So in other words, you could really see sort of lots of jagged lines around in certain views. Again, not so much when you're racing, but more when you've got the sweep, the pre-track sweep around and so forth. But to be honest, as a whole, it was hugely impressive considering the hardware that it's running on.
How does it sound?
Well, there's a really good selection of familiar Nintendo tunes. Again, I'm going to draw comparison to Smash Brothers again. They're nice tunes. I enjoy Nintendo music. I think most people do. I found that the remixes weren't quite as epic as in Smash Brothers. It didn't quite have that orchestral suite, but it's perfectly good. And the character grunts are largely well done.
How does it play? I mean, obviously it sounds like you have had a lot of fun with it, but how much fun did you have with it?
It was incredibly good fun. It's the thing with Mario Kart. It's a good series on the whole. It's had its ups and downs, but this one, it really does feel just right. It didn't feel as though you were oversteering or understeering. When you find a character and a kart that you're comfortable with, it just feels spot on. The auto steering, I thought, was a really great touch, actually. I know some people would sneer at that. I'm not going to sneer at that at all. There's going to be some people coming to. It's going to be their first Mario Kart game, and that's auto steering and auto acceleration. That's great for people like that. There's a nice little handicap for, say, younger people in multiplayer mode and so forth. It plays just as well in handheld mode as it does in TV mode, and I played it with both the Pro Controller and using the Joy-Cons as well. Nintendo have absolutely nailed it, really.
What about bad points, if there is any?
There are a few. I mean, we can't go without mentioning the pricing controversy. I'm not going to dwell on it. We're actually going to make a separate video about the pricing controversy. But the short version is, I think the price of the game is fine as long as you don't already own Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. It's definitely worth it if the Switch is your first Nintendo console, or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is your first Mario Kart game. I would also argue the character selection lacks variety. I know there's 48 of them, but there's a lot of repetition there. So, you know, you've got Mario, and then you've got Baby Mario, and then you've got Gold Mario, and you have lots of variations on the same characters. There also feels like there's lots of filler characters, which is fine, but not when you're omitting big names to include those. You know, where's Fox McCloud and so forth? They're just big names that, again, because I'm a big Smash Brothers player, I'm used to seeing lots of Nintendo faces there, and there weren't as many there as I'd have liked. Also, the tutorials, I've already mentioned that, you know, a lot of people are going to be buying this as their first Mario Kart game because the Switch is doing really well, and so it's going to be a lot of people's first Nintendo console. But the tutorials actually are quite poor in this. It's really unhelpful for newbies. You have to sort of dig down in the menu screen right down to the bottom, and then there's a little option off to the right that shows you I mean, it's supposed to be help and guidance. It's just screenfuls of text, really telling you what the game could have communicated much better. Actually,
the actual tutorial sequence.
Exactly, yeah. Or, you know, just played that when you were having your first race or something. Just explain the basics and all that. And I think, considering they've gone the extra mile to add in the auto acceleration and steering and all that, it's kind of giving with one hand and taking away with the other when they don't actually adequately explain to you what that is and how to activate it and how to actually, you know, do the boost drifting and stuff like that without happening upon it at the bottom of the screen. And there's also the age-old Mario Kart problem of when you're in first place, more often than not, you face an absolute unrelenting barrage of assault from the players behind you. You can be half a lap ahead of everybody else for 2.5 laps, and then just before the finish line, you get a red shell, and then you get shrunk, and then you get ink on the screen, and then you get a blue shell, and before you know it, you've got 5 people going past you. That's something that is as old as the Mario Kart series itself, but they still haven't really found a way to mitigate that.
So overall then, what's the score? And compared to other Mario Karts, is it up there with the best of them?
Well, my previous favourites were the Game Boy Advance version, closely followed by the DS version. I am happy to say, though, this is my new favourite. It just feels like a modern, fresh game. It's absolutely refined to perfection. I'm giving it 90%, which on our review scale is outstanding. And furthermore, this is the second great racing game that we've reviewed for the Switch. The first, of course, being Fast RMX, which actually is an indie game and is very much like F-Zero and is quite a lot cheaper. So if people do have Mario Kart 8 and don't want to spend full price on a game just yet, then that's a great alternative. But yeah, it's spot on.